So ayan, good morning guys. I am Corby Buhawe Flores and I'm going to discuss about the rise of media theory in the age of propaganda. So before we discuss the Watson's theory, also known as behaviorism, the Phrygianism theory, Harold Laswell's propaganda theory, and Walter Lippmann's theory of public opinion formation, let's first talk about the origin of propaganda, what is propaganda, and how it is important. So, to start, propaganda theorists abandoned idealism in favor of strategies they regarded as realistic and scientific. Yes, because at that time, propaganda was very helpful and at the same time, threatening siya. So, propaganda must be resisted by whatever means possible. But even though the threat of propaganda was great, there might be a silver lining to this cloud. Meaning to say, if we could find a way to harness the power of propaganda to promote good and just ideals, then we would not only survive its threat, but we have a tool to help build a better social order. This was the promise of what came to be called the white propaganda. And later on, I will be discussing the definition of white propaganda. So, after World War II ended, these white propaganda techniques provided a basis for development of strategic communication methods that are widely used today in advertising and public relations. In fact, propaganda theory is experiencing a resurgence, meaning to say a growth of interest precisely for these reasons. The techniques used in these modern promotional efforts appear to many observers to be even more effective in the contemporary world of corporate media. So next, what is propaganda and its purpose? So pardon me if I keep looking down because I put my materials here. So what is propaganda and its purpose? Propaganda is a mode of communication used to manipulate or influence the opinion of groups to support a particular cause or belief. Over the centuries, propaganda has taken the form of artworks. So hindi lang po siya ang propagandistic into one form. There are a lot of forms such as artworks, films, speeches, and music. So, yun. The purpose of propaganda is to influence people and try to get them to hold a certain belief or sets of beliefs. Usually, when we talk about word propaganda, negative na yung dating sa atin. But, it depends kung paano ginamit yung propaganda. Example, the government using propaganda. The objective is to gain support from the citizens and shape their opinion, emotions, and attitudes and behaviors to benefit the nation in order to support the politicians. Like those campaign telling that they're good for our country, like that. Those are propaganda used by the governments. So next, the origin of propaganda. The propaganda fight was originally founded in an effort to suppress the Protestant Reformation. Throughout the first half of the 20th century, the meaning of propaganda was still debated. Meaning to say, was propaganda necessarily good or a bad form of communication? So gradually, the term propaganda came to refer as a communication strategy, meaning to say it is widely used na as a mode of communication. Like today, we used it as an example, advertising products. Ganun. So, the ultimate goal of the propagandist is to change the way people act and to leave them believing that those actions are voluntary. To accomplish this, propagandists must first change the way people conceive of themselves and their social world. Those propagandists used techniques such as persuading people or persuading the public to make them believe on a certain beliefs in order for them to transform beliefs and use it to guide and change the way people conceive of themselves. The term propaganda apparently first came into common use in Europe as a result of the missionary activities in the Catholic Church. In 1622, Pope Gregory XV created in Rome the propagation of the faith. This was a commission of cardinals charged with spreading the faith and regulating church affairs in the heathen lands. In its origins, propaganda is an honorable word used in religious activities. But it was in the later part that propaganda became selfish or subversive association with lie. Ganon. So, to continue, here are the three types of propaganda. The first one is the white propaganda. Concept was developed, still has been using today. Ito na yung ginagamit natin today na mga modes of communication, advertising, ganon, mga like products. Then, this technique used to promote information or ideas, distract attention from problematic events. Ito yung parang nagka-counter doon sa black propaganda. Black propaganda is deliberate transmission of lies. So, ito na yung pangalawang type ng propaganda. Of course, ang laman nito is purong mga kasinungalingan lang, like example natin, ang pinaka-common sa may election, so magsisilabasan na yung mga black propaganda na yan, sisiraan ang mga kabilang party, ganon. So, ito yung mga black propaganda na yan. So, ito namang yung pangatlo, yung gray propaganda. This transmission of information or ideas that might be or might not be false. Meaning to say, no effort is made to determine their validity. Parang wala siyang wala siyang tamang like kung tama ba ito ang mga nilalaman or mali. So ganun. Yun yung great propaganda, like ganun. So next are the techniques used in propaganda. The first one is the bandwagon. Bandwagon aims at persuading people to do a certain thing because many other people are doing it. Like dito, you tend to persuade other people because a lot of people are doing it na din. Like, kasama na siya sa trend. Parang ganun. So, number 2 is testimonial. Uses words of an expert or famous person to promote a particular idea. So, for example, yung mga lines ng mga great philosophers, famous philosophers na nagiging gabay siya para, gabay din, and napapersuade din tayo sa mga ganong bagay na parang iba yung impact ng kanilang line because sila yung may mas nakakaalam. Parang ganon. So, number 3 is transfer. Qualities of a well-known person are associated with the product to promote or demote it. Ito naman yung ginagamit sa war na technique na propaganda kasi parang ginagamitan dito ng famous na tao or person to promote the party. Parang kung sa war pa ito, like ito si ganito, isang famous na tao, ginagamit nila to gain public support, to gain manpower para yun nga, 'di ba? It can be a tool in fighting or sa war, ganun. So, yun ang transfer. Pang-apat naman is ang repetition. When the product name is repeated many times during an ad. So, ito yung nakikita natin sa TV commercials na mga advertisement na yung pabalik-balik na mga ad, na mga short ads, ganun. To persuade, of course. And number 5 is the emotional. This means to generate positive feeling in the minds of the masses. Parang ito naman yung example pa din, yung mga advertisement na may ibang hugot sa puso natin, parang may iba siyang epekto, mga ganun, like yung tinitira yung hindi na tinitira yung heart natin, like ganun, mga may pahugot effect na advertisement. Hindi naman siya like humihingi ng simpatya, pero like hindi kami nakakaawa ha, pero yung parang gusto mo siyang example sa product natin is yung sa Jollibee, mga commercial ganun, McDo. So, parang ang sarap sa feeling ng mga ganong commercials. Na positive feeling lang rin na yung na-generate. Ganon. So, next, why is propaganda important? So, sabi ko nga kanina, sa wartime, propaganda is so important that it can be often used as a weapon because of the power that comes with the public support. The ability to win support can be just as important as the ability to win the fight or the war. Because the more the people supported your party, ganon, marami kang manpower makukuha dyan eh. Marami kang maiinggan yung mag-join sa force nyo. Parang an alliance to add some alliance to your party. And of course, it's a big help to win a war sa time nila. So, ganun. Lastly, are the examples of propaganda. So, I really don't know how they use propaganda in this situation, but yeah, here are the examples. Propaganda is used in different times for different reasons, and it comes in a wide variety of forms. The most easily identifiable and understandable use of propaganda is during the war, in which victory or defeat can be depend a great deal on public support. So, ganyan talaga ka-importante yung public support. If nasa iyo yung public support, yung parang alam na kayo ang mananalo sa war. Kasi, parang, more manpower yan eh. Maraming alliance, ganun. So, the examples are Nazi party's propaganda during World War II. This was the economic depression of German and the Jews hoarding money. Ganun. So, another one is during World War II again. The US also frequently relied on propaganda for public support. Inviting people to join military. So, ganun, di ba? Parang, naghahanap talaga ng manpower. The more kasi kayo sa yung party, mas obvious na kayo ang mananalo sa isang war. Ganun. So, ayan guys, I'm done discussing about the propaganda, the definition, the importance and how it is being used, and those techniques and types of propaganda. So, my friend Gary will discuss you from behaviorism up to the Lippmann's public opinion formation. So, thank you and have a nice day.